It's a long poem, so bear with me. It's based, or it's kind of an homage to a poem by Lawrence Ferlinghetti entitled Autobiography. He starts his poem, I am leading a quiet life in Mike's place every day, talking about a bar where he would hang out. And his poem goes on for 20 more pages than mine does, so I'm giving you all a break. So, autobiography after Lawrence Ferlinghetti. I am leading a quiet life in my place every day, watching a pride of domesticated lions fight for no good reason. I am leading a quiet life on Outlook Street in Mission, Kansas, half a continent away from the town where I was born in Maryland, north of D.C. I am an American. I am white and in the middle class. I am middle-aged and soft around the middle in the middle of America. I am fair to Midland, as my granddad would say. I have no right to write about race, but I should listen and listen and listen and really hear. I was an American boy. I flunked out of Cub Scouts in the suburbs. I thought I was Han Solo staring at stars on my back in the Great Plains, dreaming of piloting spaceships. I had a baseball mitt, but couldn't catch. My huffy 10-speed took me out of the driveway and onto the gridded streets of Longmont, Colorado, where I rode over every inch of that town, and further still to Lyons, and across the Foothills Highway to Boulder, and then the flat ride home. I delivered the Daily Times call at 4 in the afternoon and 5 in the morning on weekends. How gray the ink stained my hands, how strong the newsprint scented my clothes, how heavy the weight of the papers I carried as I left our front porch, and how light I felt on the walk home. How that was work, and I came to know it young. I had an unhappy childhood, yet it is hard to remember, mixed with the splendor of aspen leaves. I watched rockets on TV and built my own to launch on the football field. I never got caught stealing. I laid sewer pipe in North Carolina summers for $4.75 an hour to pay for college. I went to college where Thomas Wolfe did, and when I looked homeward, I don't know what direction to face. I attended 3 different schools in 3 different states by the time I turned 7. I served in no army and saw no combat. I worked third shift at a Hilton in Charlotte. I stayed awake all night to balance accounts and plunge toilets. I protested the Gulf War in Lafayette Park. George Bush did not notice me. I marched from the White House to the Capitol steps and at day's end slept at a Hilton because the room was free. I marched in parades carrying a big bass drum behind the farting trumpeters. I am rereading the portrait of the artist as a young man and my Facebook news feed. I am watching the Kansas City Royals play in the World Series for the 2nd year in a row. I have heard the Ginsburg address and the Victor Smith address. I like it here, and I won't go back where I came from because I cannot decide where that is. I too have ridden airlines, bus lines, train lines, and traveled among unknown men and women and never once not been in America. I read the Bible but doubt the flood. I don't know where I was when Rome was built. I have been an ass. I have kissed a girl in a rainstorm and made love in an ocean and watched the sunrise from a mountaintop completely alone. I have wandered lonely in a crowd. I am leading a quiet life in my place every day, watching trees change clothes after dyeing them crimson. I have never set out to walk around the world, but I have run for miles and keep thinking about doing it again. Room weary, I stress. I have unraveled. I have seen Funky Town. I have seen the crass mess. I have heard Stevie Ray Vaughan render. I have heard guitars teach. I have heard Tom Waits in St. Louis. I slept in a starred hotel in Times Square and in a flea trap in Denver, and I know why nobody steals the towels from a Motel 6. I am leading a quiet life in my place every day, reading resumes, trying to fill jobs so rich men can make money, telling machines to tell people what to do. I am the classified section. I sell a dream and I take my cut. My office is at the crossroads. I see another war is coming and I see we have not finished the last 3. The writing on the wall writes itself these days. Kilroy got that vacation he wanted all this time, and I think he took his dog. I stick to the alleys. The streets are not safe. They took away all of the Plymouths, the Oldsmobiles, the Pontiacs too. What is a man to drive these days? I have driven the interstates and crossed the Continental Divide and wallowed in the woods of Chapel Hill, rebuilding a life. I saw the towers fall on television when I was unemployed and broke. I had a bad feeling. It lasted 8 years. I am too goddamned young to die. I moved to Kansas City for a woman who did not want me. I stayed and found the one who does more days than not. I am leading a quiet life in my place every day, contemplating futility and joy. I am a part of the world's quick decline. I have stared at night skies in pastures and through trees. I have written poems that I have burned. I have leaned in drunken doorways. I have sat on rocks. I have suffered and I have loved and I have sung at full voice all the words to I want you to want me. I have seen the paintings of the Wyeths and Warhol, Rothko, Stanton McDonald Wright, Jackson Pollock, and Frida Kahlo, Caravaggio, a Rodin sculpture of a hand thrusting up out of a rip in space. I have seen them. I am a man. I am leading a quiet life in my place every day, mowing the lawn and watching leaves change. I will be there when the last leaf falls this year, and it will mean something that I will write down and scratch out for being trite. I will rake the leaves with Donald Hall and have a talk with whatever happens next in its dark and tattered robes and ask it for a favor, just for me, to take its own damn time.